Well everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy S9 and see how this particular phone holds up in the later part of 2023. Now, for the most part, not a lot of things have changed with this particular phone as you may have seen. This phone has been pretty much been staying the same since 2018, which is kind of what we'd expect as of this point. But I will tell you for the most part, this is a very, very decent phone for what it was when it first came out. I just would not recommend purchasing this phone anymore because it's already kind of outdated. Again, that's just kind of what happens when you're getting a phone like this. But I will tell you a few things. One, this phone on the outside does have that 5.8-inch Super AMOLED display, which I think is a very, very nice display. I think it still holds up fairly well. And having that type of display on this thing is very good. 1440p. It's a curved display as well, which is something I actually do like. Having these types of curved displays are super cool. And that's just something that kind of stands out to me as basically being one of the better things going on with this particular phone. You're getting a little bit of bezel at the top and the bottom, which is perfectly fine, not a lot. And for a phone like this, I mean, this was a pretty decent phone when it first came out, but it kind of got overshadowed pretty quickly by the Samsung Galaxy S10. Just because that phone was just so much better in every single way than a lot of other competitors, this phone already kind of was a little outdated even when it first came out, which is pretty funny. Now at the bottom, you're getting the USB Type-C port, which is very nice to have, as well as the headphone jack and that microSD card slot. That is one of the craziest things to have in this type of device. So personally for me, I think that's another really, really big thing. Having a phone like this from that specific perspective with that, USB Type-C charger, headphone jack, and microSD card slot is super cool. And I love that, from this phone without a doubt. So I used to call it the triple threat. It's a super nice feature to have. And I love that so much. On the back side, you do have that standard glass back, which is good. It's good enough for the most part. You have the fingerprint sensor on the back side, which is super nice to have as well. You're getting that single camera setup, curved back a little bit on the edges too. And overall, I think it's a pretty good looking phone. I don't really have a lot to complain about from this particular phone from that specific perspective, but I think the exterior still holds up fairly well. The only thing I really don't like about this phone, or the only thing that's kind of aging this phone for the most part, is probably the software. This thing did end off with One UI 2.5, which was a decent version of software for the most part, but it is kind of one of those situations where if you're getting this phone, you already are getting a phone that's outdated with software. So that's just kind of what happens when you're getting this type of device. Like, I don't think you want to get a phone that's already outdated by like a few years. And that's just kind of what happens with this type of phone. So take it as you will, but I probably would not recommend buying this phone because of the software standpoint. A lot of other things beyond this phone are still good. Like, there's still a lot of stuff to love about this phone, but the software is just one of those things that is already kind of outdated. We're about to get One UI 6 in like probably a couple months. It's already probably out by the time I'm making this video. One UI 5 has been out for a little bit of time. One UI 2.5 is already a few years old, and it just doesn't make sense buying this phone from that perspective either. Beyond that though, I think this phone is still pretty good in a lot of different ways. I think it's still a good phone from pretty much what you'd expect, but it's not a good phone that I'd recommend people to buy. The performance is still kind of slow. I think the software features are a little outdated, and I'm trying to think what else. Like, the camera is pretty average nowadays. It's not a horrible phone. It's not a terrible phone. It's just one of those devices that I look at and I'm just like, there's just not really a big point of buying this phone anymore. Like, you're much better off purchasing something that's still supported with software. So take it as you will, but that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.